Good morning. It was a necessarily quiet Thursday. We didn't have much to work with. And then you've got Man United who can't decide whether they're two-goal heroes or scraping a goal or not scoring, as has occurred in their last two matches. So not many green screens or any to show you yesterday. Now, if you're learning to trade, this is a great way to learn. Look at yesterday's matches and ask what, if anything, you would have done. Don't forget, not trading is a trading decision, isn't it? So looking through old reliables, Mgladbach, keep telling you about them. Did they concede the first goal? Because that would have been a trading angle, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. And no, they didn't. Already 3 goals up by half time. Want to stick on your notebook, Mgladbach? You're going to find throughout the course of a season teams which just resonate with you as a trader. Mgladbach, Bodo Glimt, even Liverpool. Contrary-wise, Liverpool, Aston Villa away from home can unlock that 2-goal. So there are one or two sides throughout Real Madrid, of course. Atletico Madrid at home, particularly going a goal down. You'll spot these patterns, and I did do a video about overtrading, and this is one of the ways you can stop overtrading, is to focus on the old reliables, as I call them. In an ideal world, how would we have played Manchester United West Ham? Yet again, the market severely overestimating the chances of Man United. Nuno Espirito Santo, we've got that new manager element involved as well, which does make readability a lot more difficult. I thought Jared Bowen, he looked a bit like Leo Messi yesterday. What on earth went on with him? You've got a 0-0 at half-time. Now, those of you who were confident of a goal being scored, you could have looked there. How do we check for a goal being scored? Here's an angle for you. This is why I do the XG reports. So you can go Man United, Manchester United against West Ham. Let's see if we can find it. So this is why I do the XG reports. So you can have a look here. Does that suggest a 0-0? That suggests a 1-1, doesn't it, really? Or a 2-2. 1.65 expected goals against does suggest this is pre-Nuno Espirito Santo. Real trouble keeping a clean sheet. So just based purely on expected goals, if you can start learning to read, it's quite simple, really. Anything above 1 for expected goals 4, sides are creating enough chances for a single goal. Once you get to 1.5 or above, they're creating enough chances for a single goal and at a push, 2 goals. For expected goals against, you're looking at the lower the better. Arsenal 0.59, 0.6, quite outstanding. West Ham United 1.65. They're giving sides enough chances to score 1 goal, reasonably enough, 2 goals at a push. So arguably we could have laid the draw second half. How else would you have looked at the possibility of that draw ending second half? Well, our old showbiz pal, soccerstats.com. You really need the head-to-head here. And given the match has already been played, we'll have to go to this H2H here. We're going to look for Manchester United, and we're going to look for West Ham. Not Wolves, West Ham. So you can do this at 0-0 at half-time. I just wasn't confident in Man United yesterday. I didn't want to throw any money away if they limped to a 0-0 or something like that. So we've got a 0-0 at half-time. You can have a look right at the bottom here for the conversion rates. So we go all the way down here. You can have a look here as well. Quite obviously, against strugglers, we get a both teams to score angle, don't we? But there's very little here. Failing to score here, scoring a single goal here. Slight problems. Very recent matches as well. But it's down here where you find or you can get confidence. Firstly, here with the goal times, is there a bias towards second half scoring? Well, there is with West Ham, second half scoring and conceding after the 60-minute mark. Now, it'll be interesting to see when the first goal came. Bang. Right near that 60-minute mark. Unbelievable, Jeff. Second way is to look at this. How many 0-0s at half-time? Well, we've got yesterday's 0-0 at half-time, but prior to that, none. And then the conversion rate to full-time. No 0-0s at full-time. Should have given you an element of confidence. No 0-0s at full-time away. Should have given you an element of confidence. 3 0-0s at half-time away, none at full-time. So, arguably, we should have done that yesterday. But given the sparseness of the matches, I didn't want to just get stuck in with a side who failed to score against 10 men in the last home match. So, this retrospective trading, I call it, what would I have done, can be very useful to getting your brain working and yourself spotting angles and indeed how to check the stats. Moving on down, Juve Stabia against Bari. Yet another warning sign from me. Juve Stabia really should have taken Bari to town. But once you get down to these lower tiers, like Stockport County the day before, Stockport County knocking the socks off every single stat metric and limping to a 1-1. Juve Stabia and Bari, how could you have covered this 0-0? How could you have got yourself, I do say, get yourself liability control in these lower tiers. What do I mean? Get out with a third of liability as loss if you've laid 0-0 at half time. Simple as that. Or lay over 0.5 goals in the half time, in the match odds, let's start again. Lay over 0.5 goals in that 0.5 goals market, of course. That covers the 0-0. Sit on it. And if this remains 0-0 for a long enough period, you've got a free lay of the draw. That way, you'll have to scrub your liability on laying over 0.5 goals, because if you get an early goal, it's done. Talking of inconsistent, well, we've got an idea with Bologna that their loss to Cremonese was down to two factors. It was post-Europe and a Jamie Vardy, who was in very, very good form for Cremonese. But this is more like it. Parma did score first. Bologna did equalise and push on for the win. But once bitten, twice shy, I'm afraid. That was a trade. Lazio AC Milan wouldn't play that at all. It's a derby-style match and it's a cup match. You can quite clearly see AC Milan aren't going to be crying any tears over this. Vitesse Arnhem and De Graafschap was arguably a play yesterday. Vitesse Arnhem scoring first, De Graafschap responding so quickly, I think that there wouldn't have been an angle. But I did give you an angle pre-half time. Particularly if you enter in the 20th minute onwards, you've got 25 minutes to half time for them to get a goal. So you lay 0-0 in the half time score market. It's a league known for goals. So if you can marry the two, this is where XG will come in handy. If we know the league is good for goals, check the XG and make sure that the teams are good for goals. Certainly, De Graafschap delivered on that 2.22, didn't they? But worrying for them, they give sides enough chances to score a second goal. And Vitesse Arnhem create enough chances to score at least one goal comfortably enough. 1.54 XG against, likely to concede one goal, at least two. So put all that together, put our research together that we're expecting a goal before half-time, wait for the 20-minute mark, lay 0-0 in the half-time score market. So yesterday there were some plays, but you've just seen with Juve Stabia and Bari, it's that untrustworthy factor with these second-tier leagues, isn't it? But arguably that was a good play. And De Graafschap's two-goal habit, you could have laid that draw late on. The Copa del Rey, nothing much doing yesterday, although we did get an equaliser from Valencia. Where are they? Down here somewhere. Valencia against Cartagena. That was 1-1 at half-time. Did lay the draw late on. Celta Vigo, 0-0. And again, just doing a job second half. They don't have to get the win in 90 minutes. That's a concern for us as well. Quite obviously, by far the better side, Celta Vigo. But 0-0 it ended. Rayo Vallecano, I think, came from behind to get the win here. Baleares and Espanyol. I did this myself. I laid over 1.5 goals late and backed Espanyol in the +1 market. Didn't get anywhere, but didn't lose. And that was it yesterday. You can see we were not dealing with much quality, but we could, if we stuck with that 2+ goal habit for Bologna, got involved there. We could have got involved with a goal before half-time here. And we could have laid the draw here as well. Notably, in all of the Premier League matches so far in December, all 0-0s at half-time have seen at least a goal second half, and that's your exit point. So let's have a look onto today's trading angles. And firstly, I'd like to thank you for your comments on the YouTube videos. Please keep them coming. It does help the algorithm hugely. And those of you who haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Again, it just helps grow the community, grow the channel. And the more features I can get on the channel, the more I can help you out. I can indeed start moving the course over to the YouTube channel for you and provide you with some tutorials there as well. But I need bigger subscription numbers. So I'd be grateful if you join. It's a painless operation. Just go to the youtube.com/@FootballTradingProfits and click subscribe. Simple as that. Let's have a look at today's football. La Louvière against Dender. I think these are two newly promoted sides in the Belgian Jupiler League. And once the new year is up and running, I'll be able, if the costings are okay, to provide you with something like this scanner expected goals analyzer. So you can dip into these matches yourselves and see if there are any angles. I suspect these two might be a little goal shy. So La Louvière v Dender. Press the button and I'll come back to you when the report comes. So La Louvière and Dender, what would you expect? Try to find a scoreline. What would La Louvière's scoreline be? It could be 1-1, couldn't it? Or 1-2, because they're edging towards conceding 2 goals. Dender, indeed, similar. Scoring a goal, but have the ability to give sides a chance. Actual is 1.63. What I've done is I've increased more features. I've got the actual average scores underneath the expected. So this would be interesting to see the final scoreline. This says 1-1 or 1-2. This says 1-1 or 1-2, doesn't it? So 2-1, 1-2 possible scorelines. We'll see tomorrow. And we might have an angle in as far as creating correct score plays. But that's just something to think about. Not a match, really, to focus too much on today. Croatian HNL 1 League, Slaven Bolupu and Gorica, evens for the home favourite. Again, liquidity will be our problem. Slavia Prague and Teplice, 1.4 away favourites in the Czech 1 League. Slavia Prague, Sparta Prague, Poulsen are your big boys. It could be a possible trading angle, particularly if Slavia Prague concede the first goal. Fredericia against OB Odense. It's the Danish Super League. Again, it's a league renowned for goals. So let's just have a quick check. See if the teams are going to be scoring the goals, like we did with Vitesse, the Graafschap. So I insert the team names and off we go. Certainly from a defensive perspective, these two are a little leaky, aren't they? So if we were looking at a correct score here, 1-1 or 1-2. Correct score here, 2-1, 2-2. So that fits in with an over 2.5 goals, as does the league. So that could be a way for us to determine over 2.5 goal plays in leagues known for 2.5 goals. English Championship today, Hull against Middlesbrough. Let's take a look. Hull are starting to concede 2 goals at home. Only 1 loss at home since the 20th of September came in their last match as part of a run of 3 defeats in 5 matches. So they've just gone off the boil a little bit, old Rod. Let's have a look at Middlesbrough. Well, despite only 3 defeats all season for Middlesbrough, they have had only 1 win in 7 away matches. They do have a very strong record of at least a goal before half-time. So as with Vitesse and de Graafschap, if you can wait 20 minutes at 0-0, you could either lay 0-0 in the half-time score market, or you could back. That's probably the best avenue, isn't it? Because that covers all the other correct scores. Or you could lay the draw in the half-time market, back over 0.5 goals in the first half goals, etc. It's a tricky match. Poor away form. Not too shabby at home, but the market is giving both sides a chance. French Ligue 1. Monaco have really gone off the boil. I think it's down to the Champions League. 3 losses for Monaco and then a 1-0 win against Paris Saint-Germain. What gives? What on earth's going on with Monaco? It does smack of unreliability, doesn't it? But Brest, well, they're hardly the most reliable themselves. Only 4 wins, but now 2 consecutive wins for Brest. They have that winning momentum, which can be so important psychologically for teams, but they're not keeping clean sheets. So you'd be expecting any 0-0 at half-time to potentially be layable second half. You can go off to Soccer Stats and do what I did. Check Brest and Monaco's conversion rate for 0-0s at half-time if we get one. That could increase your confidence in laying the draw second half. Lille and Marseille, not touching this. 2.5 the favourite. Big clash. Marseille have a chance at a league title. So they're going to be competitive, but I can't give you any angles in at 2.5 the favourite. I've done the AI research for you. That's the whole purpose of the AI in matches like this, where I'm not going to be wasting my time. French Ligue 2, I've done AI for you, and I've done the expected goals for you as well. So you have these on hand if you'd like to play, but look at the first 3 matches. It's not the best coupon on the planet. 2.5 the favourite, 2.3 the favourite, 2.45 the favourite. As Les Dennis would say. Look at Le Mans against Amiens, a lot more readable. So you'd be heading in that direction. Mainz against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Again, note the market. It's not the strongest Friday coupon, is it? That's why I take Fridays off. Only 1 win for Mainz, but 2 consecutive 1-1 draws at home. Notably against Hoffenheim, who've been scoring 3 goals. They kept them to a 1-1. So they were indeed priced to be competitive in that match. They're priced to be competitive in this match. Now they face a Borussia Mönchengladbach who've got the feel of having a new manager in place because they've suddenly won 3 matches and got a draw in the 4th. So that momentum is huge. That's why the market can't split these 2. Improving home form, albeit not winning. 2 1-1s, keeping the Hoff quiet. But 3 wins and a draw. Suddenly, the only wins all season for Mönchengladbach. Again, like these, 2.5 the favourite, 2.3, 2.45, 2.5. It's very tough nut to crack. Bundesliga AI, I've done the AI for you today. And do please read these previews. They're freely available. And they could give you an angle in. Excelsior and Groningen, 2 consecutive matches now. Groningen matches have been suspended, 80th minute onwards. So the last 2 matches, the form lines are all over the shop against Ajax and the match before that against Pek Zwolle, which ended 2-2, but was suspended on the 81st minute. The momentum goes. We don't have matches would have properly eventuated had they been a full 90 minutes. So that's a bit muddying the waters. 2 1-0 wins in 3 at home for Excelsior. And again, this is a league for goals. But if you're getting only 1-0s, it might not be a good goal, a good league for us to do over 2.5 goals. Would you agree? Let's have a look. Well, certainly with Groningen, over 2.5 goals. However, getting enough to score 2. Excelsior, that's awful defensively, isn't it? 1.97, giving sides enough chances for a clear single goal and a great opportunity to score 2 goals. You can see what AI has to say about that very poor defensive record. So that's got the potential of seeing at least a couple of goals there today. All odds on favourites bar 1 in the Eredivisie today. It is a league for goals. And again, you can do a look at 1 or 2 of these matches. I'm getting post 20 minutes now, but I'm nearly finished. So you can have a look at the potential for 2+ goals in these matches. It's a league known for goals. Again, once you get this next season, if it doesn't cost me any money, or I'll have to pass the costings on to yourselves, but it'd be very, very cheap indeed. Something like £3 or £4 extra a month for all of these AI tools that you can use yourself. You can have a look at one of these matches, put it into the expected goals calculator, and if it marries over 2.5 goal expectation, get stuck in. Another way you can look for over 2.5 goals, if the league is available. Sometimes they don't cover it. Odds checker, football accumulator, any team 1 point, the Dutch Eredivisie 1.6 or higher or lower for overs is a very good indicator. We don't have the Eredivisie, which is a real pity. Anything 1.6 or thereabouts, suggesting over 2.5 goals. So you're not seeing many today. French Ligue 2 might provide 1 or 2. No, look at that. A strong suggestion of unders there, isn't it? So that's not a league to focus on for over 2.5 goals. Brest and Monaco, maybe 1.6. That's a strong indicator for at least over 1.5 goals. Bundesliga AI as well is normally good for that. Munster and Hanover. So this is your shortcut to the potential for goals as well. And one last match, Real Oviedo against Mallorca, and yet another 2.55 the favourite. No wonder I take Fridays off. Check this out. Oviedo 0.86. Anything under 1 for expected goals 4 is appalling. Struggling even to score that single goal. Mallorca giving sides, probably better quality sides than Oviedo, the chances to score 2 goals. Real Mallorca themselves are struggling on their average. Only a single goal, really. And similarly, it's got the feel of something like a 0-1 or a 0-2 or a 1-1, something like that. Because this isn't matching this. So suggesting they could score 1 goal but not push on for the second. Could score 1 but not push on for the second. They did score 3 goals against Sevilla away from home Mallorca recently. And for me, they are the better side, really. This is a newly promoted Oviedo. And the problem they have is just struggling to score. Real Oviedo have failed to score in 6 of the last 7 matches. So anything under 1 here is severe alarm bells. And anything under 1 for expected goals 4, you lay them if they lead. So do join, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Football Trading Profits, where you're watching this video now. I'm going to have some tutorials coming for you. I'm going to be changing the website in the new year and redoing the tutorials as I learn more, as we get artificial intelligence on our side as well. Sorry the video's a bit long, but I hope you find it useful. It's normally my day off today, and I do normally say I might be up and about later on, but I probably won't be. I do need to take a clean break. I've got a notebook in front of me with many, many projects to be getting on with, websites to build, and also hacking, trying to find this person who hacked me. I'm getting very, very close to the culprit, and I will screen live when I have a go at his shins with my golf clubs. That will be Facebook streamed just for you. I've got AI music to do today. I've got my friend's business to look to help out, Cash for Gold in Guernsey. I've got my self-hypnosis MP3s to be making via AI. I've got to check with the Arts Council in Ireland to see if they give me an arts grant for my music, etc., etc. This is a day for me. You'll be getting 100% from me over Saturday and Sunday, but this is a day for me and for my family. Have a great day. Caveat, I might see you later on, but probably not. I don't normally turn up despite saying I might see you later on. Have a great day. See you again tomorrow. But members, hey, if there's a really strong trade, bang. No point me leaving it to myself, is there? Have a great day.